Hey, what's up, guys? What's goody? It's your boy Radical. It's been a while, you guys. I haven't been posting anything on YouTube, but I decided to upload something and see where it goes. Actually, you could, before we even start this video or this segment, like you guys to, maybe hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm, or share, or maybe even subscribe. Since you're already here and you stopped on this video, why not? So yeah, today basically we're talking about the 5 most expensive mistakes that has been done in history, and yeah, it's pretty nerve-wracking. Let's get on to the video. Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So why do I even repeat that again? Anyway, yeah, so we're talking about the 5 most expensive mistakes that happen in all-time history and all-time high and everywhere. You know what it is. This is actually just a reaction. But yeah, before I even start this
From the
video,
Piper,
I want you guys to like, share, and subscribe, and it helps me out a lot. So without further ado, let's jump into the video and actually react into
oil platform set up in the North Sea, about 120 miles away from the coast of Aberdeen, Scotland. It initially began production in 1976 as an oil-only platform, but over time, gas production was added to its uses. In 1988, disaster unfolded as a simple mistake led to the structure's untimely demise. On July 6, 1980,
this is the thing. When you build something, and is intended for only one purpose, you should not, you have to see it. Is this gonna handle? Is it gonna be fine? Is it capable of producing gas and oil at the same time? Is it timely manner? You have to look at the second thing. That's the thing. You have to second think about it, because what happened, it was really sad for these people, because it's
1988, a pump's pressure safety valve was removed for regular maintenance. It was temporarily sealed with a disc cover, and there were instructions made that stated not to switch the pump on under any circumstances. One shift ended and another began. Somehow, the instructions disappeared, and since the on-duty custodian was busy, no one was informed about the condition of that pump. Eventually, the pump was turned on, resulting in an explosion. The overpressure was too strong for the temporary metal disc to withstand, and gas audibly began leaking out at an incredibly high pressure. Gas fires broke out, with 167 men losing their lives. The total cost of the disaster is estimated to be around 1.7 billion euros, making this one of the most expensive man-made catastrophes ever. An inquiry immediately began to look into the cause of the disaster to try to avoid another catastrophe like it again. Survivors of the wreckage, as well as relatives of those who died, created Piper Alpha Families and Survivors Associated, which campaigns for safety issues concerning the North Sea. A memorial depicting 3 oil workers was erected in the Rose Garden at Hazelhead Park in Aberdeen. In 2008, 20 years after the disaster, a stage play titled Lest We Forget, which was commissioned by Aberdeen Performing Arts, was staged. It's a heart-wrenching story, and one that could have been avoided with proper communication between the two ships. On January 17, 1995, a 6.9 magnitude earthquake struck the city of Kobe, Japan. The earthquake only lasted for about 20 seconds, but that was all it needed to devastate a city, requiring decades of repairs. While numerous buildings were destroyed, one of the most substantial damages to occur was to the Hanshin Expressway. This structure was the main transportation route between Kobe and Osaka. While the structure should have ordinarily survived such a quake, research that went on after the quake found that the expressway had an inadequate structural design. This stemmed from insufficient and prematurely terminated longitudinal reinforcement, insufficient shear capacity, and inadequate hoop anchorage. The collapse of this structure made headlines all over the globe. Many people were caught off guard, believing such expressways to be safe. 10 spans of the expressway ended up getting knocked over. It took over a year for the structure to be rebuilt, and it officially reopened on September 30th, 1996. The estimated total repair cost to get the Hanshin Expressway back up and running was $4.6 billion. It ended up only being a small fraction of the total cost the earthquake caused. When looking at the damage caused as a whole, some estimates put the repairs at $200 billion. But expressways can be rebuilt. The 6,434 individuals who lost their lives, nearly 4,600 of them in Kobe alone, can never come back. But the region was resilient. For the 3 months following the earthquake, 1.2 million people volunteered as part of the relief efforts. In November of 2002, the oil tanker MV Prestige was carrying 77,000 tons of heavy fuel oil in the sea when things took an unexpected turn. The 26-year-old vessel got caught up in a storm, and it burst the tank on November 13th off the coast of Galicia, Spain. The vessel tried to dock to try and mitigate some of the damage, but the Spanish, French, and Portuguese governments all refused. On November 19th, the vessel sank completely about 130 miles off the coast. In total, it's estimated that it spilled 17.8 million gallons of oil into the sea. This ended up polluting thousands of miles of coastline, and over 1,000 beaches on the Spanish, French, and Portuguese coast ended up suffering.
Man, just listen to this. It's like, this is not like only a big mistake. Like, people can't even go into these waters. Like, animals are dying and shit. Like, you have to like watch these things. Like, it's crucial that you have a safe and like, you know, that's why people wear helmets when they're on their jobs. Like in construction, you have to have set of rules. Like, it's funny that now everything is like gotten better, but back then, oh my god, they weren't ready for this. I was telling you,
it became the largest environmental disaster in the history of Spain and Portugal, with the amount of heavy fuel oil exceeding that of the Exxon Valdez incident. In 2013, a court ruling came down that put the overall cost of the disaster at 368 million euros, which comes out to about 494 million US dollars. Following the disaster, the captain of the vessel was arrested. However, in 2013, 3 high court judges found that it was impossible to create any kind of criminal responsibility for anyone on board the ship at the time of the disaster. The captain was, however, found guilty of disobeying government authorities who wanted him to take the tanker as far away from the coast as possible. At 78 years old, the captain was given a 9-month suspended sentence. After an investigation, it was determined that the vessel was structurally deficient and should never have been out to sea in the first place.
wow. See, that's the thing.
Lake Peigneur was a lake located in Louisiana. It had a maximum depth of
You know that it has some damages and it has like some things that is bad. It's like that explosion that happened in Lebanon. Why would you do that? Like, why would you risk people's life and livelihood to just do something like that? It's just mind-boggling how people, like corporations in general, don't give a shit about people. They just care about money.
Of 200 feet, making it the deepest lake in the entire state. For many years, it was a popular destination for sportsmen until one fateful day in November 1980. On that day, an exploratory drilling company that operated on the lake accidentally drilled into a salt mine owned by the Diamond Crystal Salt Company. It wasn't long until the entire mine started to fill with water. The ensuing sinkhole swallowed the entire drilling platform, including 11 barges that were holding supplies for the drilling operation. It also took with it numerous trees, 65 acres of local terrain, and a tugboat. So much water was removed from the lakebed that the flow of the Del Cambre Canal was reversed. This caused salt water from the Gulf of Mexico to instead flow into what used to be a dry lakebed. Fortunately, all 55 employees who were in the mine at the time of the disaster were able to get out safely. No human lives were lost. In the aftermath of the sinkhole, Texaco and the drilling contractor Wilson Brothers had to pay $32 million to Diamond Crystal. They also had to pay an additional $12.8 million to a nearby plant nursery and botanical garden for out-of-court settlements to compensate for damage the sinkhole caused. In addition to the costs, the event also permanently impacted the local ecosystem. It changed the lake from freshwater to saltwater. It also increased the overall depth at the deepest point of the lake. One of the most famous man-made disasters in history occurred on Saturday, April 26, 1986. On this day, a safety test was being performed on the RBMK-type nuclear reactor at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant near the city of Pripyat. The test was supposed to provide a simulation of an electrical power outage to help with the formation of a safety procedure on how to maintain reactor cooling water circulation until the backup generators could offer power. During this test, there was a gap of roughly 1 minute that caused the nuclear reactor core to overheat. It was expected that the residual rotational energy of the turbine generator would offer sufficient power to cover this lapse. The power unexpectedly dropped to a near-zero level. Operators could only restore partial test power, which put the reactor in an unstable condition. At the time, the operators didn't know of the risk, so they continued with the test. Once the test finished, the operators triggered a reactor shutdown. A combination of design flaws as well as the unstable conditions resulted in a nuclear chain reaction. Roughly 49,000 individuals had to be evacuated from the area, most of them from the nearby town of Pripyat. The exclusion zone had to be expanded, which resulted in an additional 68,000 people being evacuated. 2 members of the reactor operating staff were killed in the reactor explosion. 134 people had to be hospitalized due to acute radiation syndrome, and out of those people, 28 died in the days and months following the meltdown. An additional 14 suspected radiation-induced deaths from cancer followed in the next decade.
Yeah, I mean, these things you don't mess with, especially when it comes like to these dangerous things. It's not only expensive, but it's inexpensive in lives. Like, you shouldn't have to do the wrong thing to do the right thing, or do the right thing to do the wrong thing. Yeah, do the wrong thing to do the right thing. So it's basically like, all this wrong they did, that should be a lesson for them, literally. Like, never to make mistakes like that, because it's expensive on lives. It's more expensive on them, but lives isn't. That's why it matters, you know. But just fun fact, I like to throw it out there. If you ever get into, or if you were in a radiation area, or there's a new nuclear reactor right next to you, it helps to take iodine. I heard that somewhere in one of those movies and stuff. But no, it's true. I did a research on it on Google. It turns out, yes, iodine does help you for some substantial time to actually boost up your metabolism and fights off radiation. So, something to learn from me. And also, it helps you out. Yeah, by the way, if you like this video, please share and subscribe and hit that like button. It helps out the YouTube algorithm to actually know me and notice me that I'm actually here doing this video for you guys. Alright, I hope you guys like this video. And also, yeah, I think I had the video last time on Dr. Disrespect. Nobody knows anything. Okay, I got a lot of dislikes, and that really didn't make me happy. I mean, I got a good chunk of views. That's amazing. But yeah, I'll make sure to talk about Dr. Disrespect, and he's back actually streaming, but not on Twitch. Twitch, he's gone, probably, I'm pretty sure it's gone forever. But he came like so hard on YouTube. He brought all his fans with him, and there's, I think, at least 1 million that have subscribed and paid subscription to his channel. Like, imagine how much money he made right now. But yeah, nevertheless, I'll leave that for another video. Yeah, there might be some more videos coming. I don't know. Like, I don't know what I want to do with this channel, but just stay tuned, guys, and we'll pull through this. All right, see you guys on the next video. Peace.